Liam waited and waited, but the team leader never shifted back, leaving him dazed and unfocused all this time. That distraction had given someone else the perfect opportunity to strike. That day, as usual, Liam went to work. As soon as he stepped off the car, he collided with someone, sending their belongings scattering across the ground. It was none other than his new team leader. The stranger helped pick up the scattered items, and among them was the old team leader's work ID, Titus. Why was Titus's ID in the hands of the new team leader, Leonard? Liam quickly invented an excuse. Titus used to ride in my car when he was alive. I only noticed it today and was about to bring it to the administrative office. Leonard immediately caught on. Conveniently, I also have to go past the admin office. Let me take it there for you. All Liam could do was watch as he walked off with the ID card. From that moment, he couldn't concentrate at work at all, leaving tasks unfinished even after overtime. Then the new team leader approached again. Why are you still working overtime? Need me to help? Liam shook his head quickly. No, it's almost done. Seeing him like this, Leonard deliberately mentioned the ID again. The admin office said it should be destroyed. Noticing Liam's clearly downcast expression, he pulled the ID out with a look of mock regret. Such a pity. Someone so handsome, gone too soon. Even the ID had to be cut, so I secretly took it. You? Really wanted to keep it, didn't you? Liam couldn't admit it. He gritted his teeth. You're overthinking. The new team leader smiled coldly. I thought you wouldn't dare. If I misjudged, I could just throw it away. Seeing Liam remain tight-lipped, Leonard decisively placed the ID card right in front of him. I saw you on the car stroking it constantly, looking so sad. Those words hit a vulnerable spot. Liam couldn't hold back and broke down. Leonard thought to himself, previously the scent on Liam had been too strong, so he assumed the boy couldn't have been paired with him. But recently, that scent had begun fading. Perhaps the other one was dead, leaving no trace behind. He wondered just how much the black snake had claimed him. The thought made him even more mischievous. Your lover is a snake, right? Before I wasn't sure, but seeing the photo now, I can confirm, it's definitely not human. You must be in serious trouble. I can help, or rather, only I can help. Liam didn't understand how he knew, but he absolutely couldn't trust anyone easily. Not if it would endanger Louis. I don't know what you're talking about, Leonard sneered. Stop pretending to be dumb. You must have been miserable lately. Me and your team leader, Titus, we're of the same kind. Liam was stunned. You're a snake too? The man confirmed without hesitation. Yes, I'm just as disappointed as you are. Even after revealing his identity, Liam still didn't dare trust him. Leonard only waved a hand dismissively. I'm not forcing you. If you need something, contact me. Obtaining something too easily bored him. Meanwhile, the team leader still hadn't returned. Just a normal snake. Even at night, no longer curling up in Liam's bed, leaving him feeling lonelier than ever. Finally, Liam had no choice but to turn to the new team leader, claiming to be a snake, hoping he really could help the old one. So, Liam called and arranged for him to come over that weekend. For Leonard, this was like a gift falling into his lap. He didn't expect Liam to be so eager, and quickly accepted the invitation. When the weekend came, Liam felt uneasy, his heart restless. Louis still hid under the bed, refusing to come out. Hearing a knock at the door, Liam ran to open it. The moment it opened, he froze. There stood the new team leader, holding a bouquet of fresh flowers, impeccably dressed. Dazzling in appearance, he extended the flowers. Smiling at the dumbfounded Liam. Sorry, I'm late. You've been waiting, haven't you? I know your situation is urgent, but there was traffic along the way. I had no choice. Liam was completely baffled by his actions. He accepted the flowers politely. It's fine. I'm already grateful you came. Then Liam intended to lead him to the bedroom. Hearing bedroom, the new team leader's excitement spiked. Was this progress coming too quickly? Just as Liam was guiding him inside, glancing towards the bed where the old team leader was hiding, Leonard suddenly shoved him onto the bed. No need to push me. I'm already in character and ready. Liam froze. You! What are you doing? Did you misunderstand something? But the new team leader cut him off without letting him speak. I know losing him hurt you badly. Don't worry, I can make you happy. Do you know? When I first saw you, I wanted to witness you cry beneath me. He moved closer, his voice low and commanding. Look into my eyes. It will ease your tension and make you let go, enjoying it more. Liam wanted to resist, to refuse, but for some reason his body betrayed him. He couldn't even speak. This man was disgusting. Don't touch him. Liam tried his best to struggle, but had no strength at all. At that moment, a pair of eyes suddenly gleamed from under the bed. Summoning his last ounce of energy, Liam swung his hand and slapped the new team leader, leaving a mark on his face. He widened his eyes in disbelief. You! How could you still resist? Before he could comprehend what had happened, a bone-chilling murderous aura shot toward him from behind. Turning, he immediately faced a massive, entirely black serpent, its eyes fierce and murderous, staring him down. Liam! What on earth was he raising in this house? And was that even still a snake? The massive serpent showed no mercy, driving the intruder straight out with a fierce hiss. Get out, you hybrid snake! The new team leader, drenched in sweat, stammered, What if I don't leave? That's way too harsh. I thought you called me here for something else. The serpent, clearly impatient, growled, Before I kill you, move somewhere else! The man's knees nearly buckled in fear. The serpent added a warning. Don't let off any more killing intent. Otherwise, it won't be me who suffers first. It'll be you. Stay calm and I'll go. Once he left, the serpent transformed back into human form. The strange masculine scent on Liam only made the team leader both irritated and jealous. Why had he brought a stranger here? Everything in this space should belong to him. Self-reproach and internal struggle sent sharp pains through his head. In a moment of despair, he even considered something violent. Maybe if I take him, I'll feel less pain. Such desperate thoughts made him feverish. Liam suddenly grabbed his hand, his body radiating heat as if warning something was wrong. The team leader's headache worsened. I truly want to devour you whole, he blurted out in chaos. Hearing this, Liam clutched him tightly, choking back tears. Do whatever you want. I'm not afraid. I trust you. The team leader realized that Liam had been affected by a spell, a type of magic cast by the other snake. He couldn't manipulate Liam's nerves recklessly, or it would cause him to lose his mind. The best approach was to calm him, to soothe him gently until he regained control. After an indeterminate amount of time, Liam woke up. The team leader whispered carefully in his ear, Listen carefully. I'll need to leave for a while. When I do, stay away from me. No matter where I end up, keep your distance. Liam burst into tears. Don't leave me. The team leader said sadly, Staying with me won't be good for you. Even if I beg, do not stay by my side. Follow my instructions. That night, Liam was woken by furious knocking at the door. When he opened it, he found a large, heavily tattooed man standing outside, already shouting, I'm the neighbor who couldn't sleep because of all your noise. You've been loud all night. I lost customers because of you. Liam was caught off guard, both embarrassed and slightly annoyed that the man believed the story he'd hastily concocted. Blushing, he apologized. I'm very sorry. But could you keep it down a bit? The tattooed man ignored him and stormed into the room, looking around the bed before yelling, Why is it just the guy on the bottom apologizing? What about the guy on top? No responsibility? Liam tried to intervene, but it was too late. The man spun around, searching for the other culprit, finding nothing but the wall separating the two houses. He glared at Liam. You've been making all this noise by yourself? Impressive! Liam was still flustered, unsure what to say, when the man suddenly noticed the black serpent on the bed. What's that? Liam hurriedly explained. Oh, that's mine. It's just a little thing. You can leave. I promise it won't make noise again. But the man seemed to forget Liam's words and lunged to pick up the serpent, exclaiming, Amazing! Turn the light on. I want to see it properly. Reluctantly, Liam turned on the light, trying to convince him to put the snake down quickly. But the man kept praising. Must have just shed its skin. The scales are smooth. You've clearly taken good care of it. Liam, surprised, asked, You know about snakes? The man laughed. My friend runs a reptile shop. I help out sometimes, know a little. I've wanted to raise a big serpent for a long time. Noticing the snake seemed lethargic, he asked, Is it tired or hungry? Do you have food for it? Liam hesitated. Yes. There's chicken in the fridge. The man immediately checked the fridge, then frowned. Only chicken. No mice. He scooped the serpent up with affection. Wow, you've cared for it well. If it ate mice, it'd grow healthier, bigger. Like a dragon. Liam made a face. It's male, not a pet. The man chuckled casually. Pet is pet. Gender doesn't matter. I'll have my friend bring some mice tonight. Are you afraid of mice? Don't worry. I'll help if you're hesitant. He reluctantly returned the serpent to Liam, patting it gently. Tomorrow I'll bring mice. Don't let it eat chicken anymore. Chicken isn't nutritious enough. Also, don't let it overeat. That's bad for its health. Liam remained silent, both surprised and exhausted. He hadn't expected someone to trust him so easily. Just after seeing off the strange neighbor, Liam received alarming news. His foster mother had met with an accident and had to be hospitalized. Dragging his exhausted body, he rushed to the hospital. Fortunately, he arrived in time, and nothing too serious had happened. Yet, his foster mother had always been in good health. Why had this suddenly occurred? Even stranger, during emergency cardiac care, an unforeseen event happened. 3 ribs were fractured. Now, Liam had no choice but to request leave from the new team leader. That team leader showed no unusual reaction. When he heard about Liam's mother's accident, he seemed like he wanted to say something, but stopped himself. Once Liam left, the man unexpectedly called after him. Didn't you almost get into a traffic accident before? When Liam confirmed it, he simply fell silent, saying nothing more, leaving Liam even more puzzled. While his mother was in the hospital, Liam met a young, handsome man caring for a patient in the neighboring bed. He would often share some of the fruit he brought with him. Over time, Liam even got acquainted with the young man's mother. There was nothing inappropriate about this. What unsettled Liam most was the increasingly erratic state of the team leader. It was as if he had returned to the time right after being rescued, radiating anxiety and visible pain. One day, Liam brought strawberries to the hospital and happened to meet the young man again. He invited him to the room to share the fruit. The young man looked at him for a moment, then suddenly stepped forward. I'll bring the fruit in. You should go home immediately. Trust me. Don't worry about your mother. In the end, Liam obeyed, guided by a sense of foreboding. As expected, he heard commotion at his gate as he approached home. He rushed over to find the tattooed neighbor, grabbing a filthy man and yelling furiously. Seeing Liam, the neighbor immediately reported, "You're just in time! This scumbag was trying to break into your house. Lucky I caught him in time. What if he stole my precious pet?" Liam was dumbfounded, unable to believe the scene before him. Who was that child? And how did he know something was about to happen at his house? After the police left, the recent cascade of events left Liam utterly drained. At that moment, the team leader appeared, wrapping him in a tight embrace. Liam leaned helplessly against his shoulder. All of this, could it somehow be connected to the former team leader? After a sleepless night tossing and turning, Liam went to the hospital early the next morning. But seeing Henry busy caring for his grandfather, he had to wait for another opportunity. That evening, as he prepared to leave, Liam found Henry sitting alone in the hospital yard. He approached. "Here to visit your grandfather?" "Why aren't you going inside?" Henry's eyes were heavy with sorrow. "He passed away." At the end, family needed to be there. "I couldn't go in, but you're not family, are you?" Liam asked, surprised. It turned out Henry wasn't a blood relative, but a bodyguard who had stayed by the old man's side for 60 years. Lived this long, yet never learned anything. Knew how it would end, yet couldn't help developing feelings for humans, he said. Suddenly, Henry looked straight at Liam. "You've been having a lot of trouble at home lately, haven't you?" Liam froze, not fully understanding. Seeing this, Henry clarified. "There's a snake in your house, not a pet snake. Talking here won't help." He then pulled a small package from his pocket and handed it to Liam. "Take this for your mother. If you're worried, you can try it yourself first. I'll explain next time we meet." Liam was skeptical, but after giving his mother what Henry provided, she recovered miraculously, astonishing even the doctors. Soon after, she was discharged and went abroad. Liam knew clearly. It was all thanks to Henry. Yet he left no contact information. How could Liam reach him? Just as he was feeling troubled, noise erupted at his front gate again. Liam ran out and saw a scene both familiar and strange. This time, The tattooed neighbor was confronting not a stranger, but the very person Liam had been searching for, Henry. The neighbor thought he was a thief, and the two argued loudly. Finally, with Liam explaining, the neighbor relented and apologized. To Liam's astonishment, Henry even invited the tattooed neighbor into his house. As soon as they stepped inside, the tattooed neighbor lunged forward, grabbing the massive serpent. The snake immediately wrapped its coils around his neck in a playful yet threatening grip. Watching him struggle to breathe, Henry immediately regretted summoning this fool. He reached out and touched the snake's tongue. "Let's talk." In an instant, the giant serpent transformed into a tall, imposing man. The neighbor, still gasping for air, was stunned for a few moments before screaming in fear. But Henry lightly flicked him on the forehead, and he collapsed unconscious. Liam frowned. "Why did you bring him here?" Henry explained, "This person may be foolish, but his fortune is extraordinary. Thanks to him living near you, misfortune hasn't struck. Only," he glanced at the team leader, frowning, "the problem lies with him. His mind is in turmoil. He can't communicate properly." Immediately, Liam wrapped the team leader in a tight embrace. "He's unwell." "Just tell me if anything's wrong." In truth, Henry had come out of curiosity. He wanted to understand why Liam's fortune was so unfortunate, and why the serpent had become the way it was. He asked the team leader to lie down on the bed and had Liam sit beside him. Then he placed his hands on Liam, probing the memories of his past life. In an instant, visions of a previous life unfolded before Liam's eyes. Henry deduced that this was a karmic connection from a past life. Only by revisiting the past could they discover the cause and the solution. Liam trembled. You want to show me my past life? What am I to my team leader?" Henry paused, carefully choosing his words. "We are incomplete existences. Humans have many names for us, but the most common is serpent." He then had Liam lie down beside the team leader. "Don't worry about him. You should focus on yourself. Relax, close your eyes. If you both consent, you will awaken after viewing this." The scene shifted immediately. In an ancient realm, a serpent gained consciousness. One day, it heard a voice from the sky. "Chosen child, cultivate relentlessly. Do not harm the innocent. Do not slay living beings. Reflect on the path of all things." It obeyed, training diligently. Soon, it noticed humans climbing the mountains to worship the mountain spirit. Later, it realized that they were speaking of it. Yet disease ravaged the villages around the mountain. The people came in increasing numbers to plead for help. Although the serpent could summon rain and wind, it could not save them from the plague. Soon, a rumor spread. Eating serpent meat can cure illness. As a result, serpents on the mountain were nearly exterminated. One day, a farmer entered its cave, raising a sickle to strike. It did not resist, for the man was innocent. It could not kill. If its meat could save lives, then this death would not be in vain. But as the sickle fell, before it could die, the farmer collapsed, blood gushing from his wounds. Perhaps because of this act of kindness, it again heard a voice from above. "Chosen child, your heart has turned into a gem. I grant you human form to learn human compassion. The second gem lies in your beloved's heart. Go find him." Confused, it left the mountain, wandering the deep forests and mountains, avoiding humans. It felt unworthy to become a god, until one day a heavy rainstorm fell. It tried to stop the rain, but a powerful force intervened. It realized a true mountain spirit existed on this mountain, ensuring the villagers would not be infected. Suddenly, thunder roared as if the divine were angered. Guided by some unseen force, it instinctively moved towards the wailing wind. If it met the mountain spirit, it wanted to ask, "Am I worthy to become a god?" But there was no deity there, only a man crushed under broken stones. That was the first time Liam and the team leader met. The giant serpent rescued Liam, bringing him into a dark cave. Liam trembled in fear, groping forward cautiously. The serpent, equally hesitant, wanted to speak, yet longed to see its benefactor clearly. Suddenly, Liam remembered he had brought a lighter and fumbled for it. His hands shook, and he dropped it. Panicked, he groped around blindly, while his savior quickly picked it up and handed it to him. Soon, a small fire burned steadily. In the flickering light, Liam saw the figure of his benefactor for the first time and froze in astonishment. Embarrassed, he introduced himself, wanting to know the man's name, but the stranger simply stood up and turned to leave. Liam panicked. "Where are you going?" "The rain hasn't stopped." "It's dangerous outside, and there are wild beasts in the forest." The man turned back as Liam stammered. I'm scared." Seeing his pitiful appearance, the giant serpent finally decided to stay. Terrified at the thought of being alone, Liam was overjoyed to see his benefactor stay behind. He chattered non-stop, unable to contain his relief and excitement. Even though the giant serpent barely responded, Liam continued talking enthusiastically, oblivious to fatigue. From his benefactor's words, Liam learned that in a previous life, he had lived on another mountain where villagers were struck by disease one by one, succumbing despite his efforts. Powerless to save them, he had left that place behind. Seeing the grief etched on the serpent's face, Liam whispered softly, "You must have cared for them." "Not being able to help? You must have been heartbroken. Must have suffered terribly, right?" The serpent was startled. Only now did he realize that the sharp ache in his chest was grief. The air grew colder. Liam shivered, unconsciously leaning against the serpent's coils and drifting into sleep. But when the serpent laid a hand on him, he felt an unusual heat radiating from Liam's body. Outside, the rain intensified. A landslide could strike at any moment. Sure enough, with a deafening crash, a pile of rubble blocked the cave entrance. The noise jolted Liam awake. Desperate, he murmured in the serpent's embrace, "Please, if I die here, take a flower, any kind, and give it to my little sister." The serpent remained silent. He did not want this person to die. Looking at the pile of rocks, he knew that if he transformed into his full serpent form, he could easily clear a path, but his wounds had not healed. Now, he could only maintain his large snake shape. For the first time, he felt utterly powerless. Finally, he reverted to his human form, carefully setting Liam aside and using all his strength to dig through each rock. His heart felt like it would explode. His body shook in pain, but he did not stop. He carried Liam on his back. Though the warmth from his body began to fade, Liam's heartbeat continued. The serpent believed he was still alive and hoped that he would one day take his sister to see the flowered sea himself. When Liam woke, he was in a house. Reality and dream blurred together. All he could recall was the vague image of a strong man with long hair falling over broad shoulders. His mother later told him that it was this man who had carried him home. Blood streamed from his body. She had wanted to treat his wounds, but he remained silent, leaving a single flower at Liam's feet before quietly departing. The flower had dried, but it was heartbreakingly beautiful. That night, Liam stared at it in a daze, lost in thought. When his little sister visited, he still did not give it to her. He could not explain why. He simply did not want to part with it. He remembered those broad shoulders, those steady footsteps, the care taken to ensure he did not fall even once despite exhaustion. He had not even had a chance to say thank you. Suddenly, Liam froze. Outside the window, in the grass, a pair of gleaming eyes stared intently. Moments later, a massive serpent slithered into view. Liam was astonished. Such a huge snake inside the house? Yet he did not feel fear, only a sense of familiarity. Those eyes, they were exactly like the ones in the cave. "Could it be that you are the benefactor who saved me?" he asked. Unexpectedly, the serpent nodded. Liam was stunned. "Can you come in? If you're just a snake, then please don't." No sooner had he spoken, the serpent slowly transformed into a human figure and stepped inside. Seeing the blood from his wounds, Liam panicked. "Benefactor, you're injured! Come in quickly, or someone might see you and chase you away." He barely turned around before falling into the man's arms. So close, his heart raced uncontrollably. Liam was too flustered to speak when the man said, "First, let's attend to my wounds." As Liam hastily removed his shirt, he inhaled sharply. "Oh my. The wounds are so deep. How did this happen?" He quickly gathered supplies to dress the injuries. Once done, Liam asked, distressed, "Were these the wounds from that day when you saved me?" The serpent gently stroked Liam's cheek, shaking his head. "No, they're older than that." "Yet you risked your life to save me. I truly don't know how to thank you. Perhaps you should stay here a while." "Partly to recover and partly so I can repay your kindness. There's also the living room. My family would be pleased to see you, Liam added. The serpent hesitated. I do not wish to be around humans, Liam pleaded. Then stay in my room. I will take care of you. Finally, swayed by his earnestness, the giant serpent nodded and quietly remained in Liam's room. The tomboyish closeness between them gradually gave rise to feelings that perhaps shouldn't exist. During their time together, Liam noticed that his benefactor, the giant serpent, knew almost nothing of human habits. Not even how to sleep properly every morning. Those bright, unwavering eyes stared straight at him, startling him countless times. As for eating, the serpent simply swallowed everything in one gulp. But Liam still loved sharing his favorite treats with him. When he discovered that his benefactor didn't even have a name, Liam gave him one, full of meaning, Titus. Once named, Liam began teaching him to recognize letters. The moments they spent side by side, leaning on each other, felt strangely peaceful. Seeing Titus's long hair falling into his eyes, Liam reached over and gently tucked it away. So close. He momentarily lost himself and, in a moment of impulse, pressed a soft kiss to Titus's forehead. When he regained awareness, he was horrified at what he had done. Titus raised a hand to his forehead, looking bewildered. What did that mean just now? Blushing, Liam hurried to explain. It's a way of showing affection. Because your forehead is so beautiful. You're already handsome, and your forehead is too. It's a shame it was hidden by your hair. He smiled softly as he tucked Titus's hair neatly out of the way. Much better like this. Titus understood the meaning. His gaze then lingered on Liam's lips, and he murmured, There. They're beautiful too. Moments later, he mirrored the gesture, pressing his lips to Liam's, causing Liam's face to flush deeply. The distance between them shortened further. Titus whispered lowly, Your smile. It's beautiful too. Instinctively, he wanted to press Liam down, but just then, a voice called from outside. Brother, it's Anna. Can I come in? Panicked, Liam immediately forced Titus back into his serpent form and tucked him into the cupboard. After some effort, he saw his sister off and hurriedly opened the cupboard, anxiously asking, Are you okay in there being so big? To his surprise, a tiny snake stared back at him. Liam froze, realizing something new. He could shrink Titus. He decided it would be easier to carry him around this way. Not just a human, but a cross-species romance seemed to hold a unique charm. Faced with such a stunning benefactor, Liam gradually lost his restraint. Once he discovered Titus could change size, he no longer kept him confined to his room. He carried him everywhere. When inconvenient, Titus became a snake hidden in his sleeve. When convenient, he returned to human form, walking alongside Liam. They became inseparable, living days of close harmony. One night, seeing Titus tossing and turning nearby, Liam asked, Is it because you're not used to this place? You don't feel warm, so you can't sleep. He invited him into the blankets. The black serpent slowly slithered in, then transformed into human form. Liam froze, already overwhelmed with complicated emotions. Now forced to share a bed, it was difficult to remain calm. Seeing Liam silent, Titus worried that his cold body was uncomfortable, and softly said, Are you feeling uneasy? Liam shook his head. No, you can't. Share some warmth with me. Their hands found each other. Slowly intertwining, Titus closed his eyes, sleeping soundly for the first time in hundreds of years. In the middle of the night, Liam awoke with a start. Titus was gone. Panicked, he ran to the door. Seeing him standing there, Liam asked, What are you doing here? Still can't sleep? Titus shook his head, explaining that his wound had healed. Liam checked and, sure enough, it had closed completely. Eyes wide with astonishment. That's strange. Just sleeping healed it. Titus didn't know why either. But seeing the radiant smile on Liam's face, he recalled how Liam had once spoken about expressing delight. He clasped Liam's hand firmly, turned, and pulled him into an embrace, pressing a passionate kiss to his lips. Because your smile is beautiful. After releasing him, Liam remained dazed, his heart lingering, wanting more. Though Titus didn't fully understand his feelings, instinct told him he liked this human deeply and wanted to leave his mark on every inch of him. That night, the first battle between man and serpent officially began. The serpent's physical strength was far from ordinary. The man versus serpent battle that night lasted well into the next morning, only coming to a halt when Liam's little sister brought his face-washing items, forcing them to stop. After the intense struggle, Titus personally helped Liam wash up. Looking at him, he remarked, "Why do you walk around like a newborn fawn, so unsteady all the time?" Liam felt so embarrassed he wished he could disappear into a hole. Clearly, Titus had been far too enthusiastic. Moreover, he possessed 2 extra sausages, one more than a normal human, so Liam surviving until now was almost miraculous. Yet at this point, there was no longer any question of what should or shouldn't be done. They had already shared everything together. Liam decided to be honest, speaking his heart. "I really like you." "You feel the same way about me, don't you?" Hearing this, Titus fell silent, pondering. He had always believed himself to be cold-blooded, indifferent to everything. Yet the emotions Liam shared with him were undeniable, vivid, and undeniable. Before, he had never known joy or happiness. Alone, he had been isolated, like a heart missing a vital piece. But being with Liam had filled that void. For the first time, he felt complete, warm, and whole. He realized, this must be love. He looked straight into Liam's eyes and said seriously, "I can say with certainty, I love you, Liam." The moment he expressed his feelings, a voice from the heavens rang out once again. It instructed him to retrieve the gem. Only when he became complete could he cultivate into a god. But even without that heavenly reminder, he already understood the gem was the heart of the person he loved. And if a human lost their heart, all that remained was death. He could not and would not lose Liam. Even if he had to live in an incomplete state, so be it. It was this human, Liam, who had used love to fill all the gaps in him. If that still could not be called complete, then he would willingly give up the path to godhood. Yet what he did not anticipate was that this decision defied the will of the celestial beings, and both of them would have to bear the punishment that rained down from the heavens. One day, the 2 of them went up the mountain for a stroll. Titus gazed at the picturesque scenery, his voice low and serious. "In this place, there is a very powerful mountain deity. But it seems that this deity utterly despises me." Liam was puzzled by this. He took some pastries from the basket, placed them on a stone table, and bowed with a small prayer. "Please, mountain deity, have mercy on the great black serpent. He is a very, very good person." Seeing Liam's adorably foolish display of concern, Titus could only laugh, his eyes brimming with affection. Just as the 2 of them were being playful and affectionate, a group of small squirrels suddenly snatched all the offerings. Liam, noticing this, stomped his foot in anger and shouted, "Give them back!" "These are offerings for the mountain deity. If you want to eat, I can give you something else. But don't touch these." Titus smiled gently, finding the scene irresistibly cute. But at that moment, a cold gust of wind swept by, making Liam shiver all over. Titus quickly lifted Liam's pale face, his hand touching a patch of frost. "So cold, isn't it?" "Your cheeks are freezing." Let's go back quickly. Sure enough, after returning home, Liam fell ill. Titus watched his beloved trembling with anguish. But being a cold-blooded being, no matter how tightly he embraced Liam, he could not warm him. At the same time, unusual omens began to appear in their home. A cow giving birth died along with her calf in the stall. A child in the village fell forward, but then his head snapped backward. He could not be saved and passed away instantly. From then on, anyone who approached their house felt a chill crawling down their spine, surrounded by an ominous aura. Liam's father suddenly aged noticeably. The youngest daughter, already frail, grew even more sickly. And Liam's condition became increasingly critical. Helpless. There seemed no way to change their fate. Titus watched Liam grow weaker day by day, a vague realization stirring in his mind. It seemed he finally understood the cause. Yet why must the heavens punish him so mercilessly? Seeing Liam grow weaker and weaker, a sharp pang of pain tore through Titus's heart. To avoid making Titus worry, Liam mustered every last bit of strength, forced a reassuring smile, and held him tightly. "I'm fine. Don't worry. Don't look at me like I'm fragile. I'm actually very strong. I've rarely fallen ill before, and this time I'll recover soon. Don't be sad." But Liam's words could not soothe Titus. He knew, deep down, that Liam would not recover. After urging Liam to rest, Titus quietly left the room and stepped outside alone. He felt adrift, helpless, uncertain what to do. He lifted his gaze to the sky, and for the first time, a deep sense of grievance welled up inside him. Why didn't heaven warn him beforehand so he wouldn't be so blindsided? Because he had defied fate, why did the consequences fall upon Liam? Liam, whose fortune had always been good, why must he bear such suffering because of Titus? At that moment, a voice resounded, and Titus froze when he realized it came from the mountain deity. The deity sighed, explaining that he had intended to find Titus, and upon seeing him, he appeared in person. The mountain deity recounted, "When Liam's family came to settle on the mountain, I was overjoyed. The eldest son had a special destiny, and I had always watched over him. But then, a monster like you entered my mountain, and I almost killed him." Titus's mind reeled. He realized that the torrential rain that year had been created by the deity. The deity continued, "I only wanted to drive you away, but you had taken up residence too firmly, and I did not know the child was nearby." Lowering his head, Titus said sadly, "So you drove me away only because I'm a monster that shouldn't exist." "And yet I loved Liam." The mountain deity let out a disdainful laugh. "A monster? You are about to become a dragon. Why would you misunderstand yourself so? I drove you away out of pity for the dragon's partner." Love between a dragon and a human is not allowed. Only by letting go can you earn the right to ascend. Therefore, the dragon's lover is doomed to an early death. Yet heaven will compensate in the next life. In the next life, that person will enjoy peace. But I do not favor such compensation. Even if the next life is good, in this life everything of that person will be taken away. That is why I do not want the dragon's partner to appear here." Learning the truth, Titus was filled with pain and fury. He said, "I never wanted this to happen. I only hoped that if I did not remove the gem and abandoned the path to ascendancy, he could live." But he had not realized that this decision defied the will of heaven, and the consequences had already fallen upon the one he loved.